Hey, good evening, Internet. It's me, DP Knudten, for another edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And what is that done? Well, the done part is the creation of a brand new book that looks a little something like this. You've already seen the cover right there. It's called NONFICTION BRAND, Discovering, Crafting, and Communicating the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. And that's what the whole book's about. And that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. What am I going to be doing when it comes to the book? Well, you know, some nights I write, some nights I design, some nights I concept, outline, and mind map sections of the book. And other nights I edit the book. So I'm going to look at one of the things I worked on last night and see if it's done yet, because follow me for a second and I'll show you over here in Scrivener, the application I'm using to actually write this book, what I'm talking about. Now over here, Scrivener, main window, that's where you write the book, or you write the actual copy for the sections. And then over here you can see all the sections. Hold on, I'm playing with the wrong thing. Yeah, over here, I don't want to move that from there, just leave it. All of these are the sections in the book. Each one is flagged a different color that is an indication to me of completeness and stuff like that. So, last night, I added to a section in a section I had previously written called Worse Than Imposter Syndrome. A section that starts down about here. The truth about false modesty. True story happened today. I was on a call with a client, not plural, about the conception, production, and launch of a new podcast for their business. And something happened that is a near perfect example of what I think of as false modesty. What I think of fallacy. It's still really early days on this project. And this was the very first time we had discussed anything with the full project team about the podcast, what it should be about, how we would be creating a format for the show, and some thoughts about who would be hosting it on a regular basis. When I asked the question about who the host would be, they instantly named the woman who'd be anchoring the show. Then I asked some questions about the show's title current lack thereof. They had an initial working title that I think might end up being the actual title, but I followed up with a very important question in my mind. Will the host name be part of the title? Something like the XYZ podcast with Penny Lane. The woman tapped to host the podcast appeared to be immediately uncomfortable. She explained that as a self-described introvert, she would be more comfortable with her name not being part of the title. Based on what you've read so far, any guess as to what you've read so far in this book? Any guess as to what my response was? You're missing a huge opportunity to not only raise your personal brand profile, but also raise the perceived value of the company's brand at the same of your company's brand at the same time. Fortunately, the other non-host members, plural, of the team agreed. The reason the company is doing the podcast in the first place is to burnish its brand, demonstrate the quality of its principles, and give a human voice and face to the company name. Because here's the thing. Because get rid of the comma. Because here's the thing. If an event or conference is looking for speakers, they are generally looking for people first. Sure, they'd be happy to get the janitor from Google to talk about anything, but if you're a smaller regional business, they aren't likely to call to see if you've got someone that could speak to their group. But if you've got an associate who's proven they are smart through your company's podcast, pleasant and personable through your company's podcast, and really good in public speaking situations through your company's podcast, guess who they're going to want to speak from their stage? Probing further, it was clear that the host's reluctance to have her name associated with the podcast was not fear-related, but due to an admirable, but if you ask me, misguided sense of humility. For all the reasons mentioned in this section, there is just no reason not to take credit for who you are, what you do, and how you do it. And false modesty doesn't do a whole lot of good for anyone, especially you. As has been pointed out in several different places within this book, if you're waiting for someone to give you full credit for your hard work, discipline, professionalism, and high value thought leadership, you're going to be waiting for a long time. To stand back modestly, waiting. Give me another word for waiting, dictionary. Ew, what is another word for waiting? Hey, let me talk to you about this for a second. I'm pulling up a dictionary, and in that dictionary has a thesaurus. And let me tell you something. A thesaurus, I can't even say it, is not an indication that I don't have a big vocabulary. It's an indication that I don't have 3 hours to sit here trying to come up with the absolute perfect word. To crack open a dictionary or a thesaurus or any other type of reference material is not failure on the part of the writer or your brain or your database of knowledge. It's actually just a fast lane to getting back to what really counts when you're writing a book, and that is, surprise, surprise, writing the damn book. So I'm going over here, and I'm looking in the dictionary that's part of Apple's iOS, or not iOS, macOS system, and I'm looking for a different word for waiting. they were waiting for. She had to wait till her pass. Stand by, hold it back, be patient, one at a time, mark time. Later, no, kick around, cool one, nope, nope. Waiting for. Longing for. Modestly longing for recognition. That's good. Modestly longing for the recognition you so richly deserve. I'm going to change that to standing back. Standing back is a waste of your time and certainly not indicative of the effort you put into everything else. Modesty is a virtue, more dynamic people want you to have so you don't get in their way. I'm dead serious here. I'm dead serious here. What is that old saying? Or it's not an old saying. Safari, open up Safari. I gotta find this quote. History. Women make history. Welby. There we go. Quote, well-behaved women seldom make history. Who said it? I'm dead serious here. And the Pulitzer Prize winning historian Laurel Thatcher Ulrich said it best. Quote, well, behaved women seldom make history. Did she write, or did it write that in a book? in the title of her 1970 1970, I don't know, let's look that up. Amazon. No, let's go to Wikipedia. The good old Wikipedia. Laurel Thatcher Ulrich, American. Name quote. Other word, go to plural marriage. There's the written Mormon. 2007 book. It was based on a 1979 article, 76 article. Said it best. In 1976 article. Became the title of her 227 book. How's about that? 1976, 2007. Well behaved. This. Damn. Dang. Is she a doctor? Is she a PhD? Does she have a PhD? Is it... Yeah, she has a PhD. So, doctor. Dr. Ulrich hit this slayed concept of false modesty with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5 words. Dragon slayed the concept of false modesty. Just 5 words. Is the pen mightier than the sword? It is when it's backed by the truth. By a smart mind, a brilliant mind, wielding the truth. Again, if you're waiting for someone to power up the spotlight, then point it at you, it's going to take a while. And it's going to take a while, and will probably never happen. So save yourself a lot of time and heartache by getting out off your butt and out on the stage. That media, live events, networking, social media, get out on the stage. Get off your butt and out on the stage. And step to your own spotlight. But I'm scared. I know, honey. We all are. But the thing that high performing but the thing that high performing folks have mastered is flipping the feeling of reprogramming themselves to understand that fear is actually excitement. But I'm scared. I know, honey. We all are. Period. But the thing is actually excitement. It's a killer logical hack that the very best have mastered So how can you simply look at what they do? Prepare. All right, so I'm going to write these sections. So what was it? It's practice. Study. Master. Maybe I'll come up with some dorky ass acronym to make this make sense. Maybe, you know, this is where, okay, sorry. This is where a lot of writers are going to come up with some dumbass acronym that actually spells a word like succeed, and it's S for study, U for understand, C for blah, 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 blah. And you know, I'm the hack marketer in me is thinking, yeah, I should do that. I should come up with a acronym that makes a word, a powerful word, actually spell out the concept in a way that's completely memorable. And then the truly jaded part of me, the cynical part of me goes, dude, that is so Bush League. I mean, that's kind of trite, isn't it? You know, I'm trying to think of one that, let's see. I have such disdain for such things that I can't even keep one in my head long enough to cite it back to you. You know, I guess one might be the word posh. You know, the British word posh for kind of hoity-toity, luxurious, but kind of nose up in the air. Now, the old story used to be that it meant port out, starboard home, and it would be stamped on tickets for people who went from Britain all the way down past the Cape of Good Hope, the southern end of Africa, all the way up into India. So on the way down, if you were port out, you'd be on the left side of the ship. And that was good because the sun rises in the east, and as you're going south, the sun would be rising on the left side. And by the time it's noon, your stateroom would be in shadow, the cooler part of the ship. Well, guess what? On the way home from India, reverse it, starboard home. If you're on the starboard side, that's the right side of the ship. Wait a minute. Does that work? So if I'm going left, yeah, starboard. If you're going up the coast of Africa, the west coast of Africa, the sun's rising in the east. You're initially in the morning in the sun, but then during the hottest part of the day it's on the other side of the ship, and you're in the shade. So posh, P, port, O, out, S, starboard, H, home. Port, out, starboard, home. You know, and I've actually read some, because I'm a word geek. I love words, right? I've actually read some people, some entomologists, or not entomologists, etymologists. Some etymologists believe that that's actually not true, but I kind of like it. But that's the type of thing. It'd be like the 5 S's of whatever. I don't think I want to do that, but I do want to spell out what I'm talking about here. However, I don't think I'm going to do it tonight because I'm right at about almost 30 minutes into this, and it is a Saturday night. And I want to be done. And that's one of the things a good writer knows is, yes, I worked on the book. I made some positive forward movement on the book. Let's see. Has been moving further was clear. Especially you. I think that's where I picked it up. So I didn't add a whole lot of copy here, but maybe let's say 200 287 words. All right, 287 words. I'm happy with that. It's a Saturday night. I'm working on the book. I made progress. I'm moving forward. Good enough for me. So I'm going to say goodnight for tonight. However, I am back here every night until December 31st of 2020. Why did I ever make that commitment? I don't know, but I made that commitment to you and to myself, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be working on this pig of a book until it's done and up on Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform for purchase via Amazon. That's the way I did my first book, Rotoma, the ROI of Social Media Top of Mind. That's how I'm going to be doing my second book. So that's it for me tonight. I'm DP Knudten with the Nonfiction Brand podcast. I was just editing a brand new episode today with Leah Bach, who happens to be a realtor from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And we had a great conversation, and I can't wait to share that with you on Monday. It's the first of 2 episodes that will air on consecutive Mondays. So this coming Monday, you'll be able to pick up that first episode with me and Leah. Thanks for watching this. Oh, and by the way, you can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Wherever fine podcasts are free is what I typically say. That's it for me tonight. I'm DP Knudten, and I'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, theme music. Take us on out.